of Land Academy and House Academy as a side note. Excited to be here live with you today on YouTube and Facebook. It's amazing what we can do now. I'm so excited. I'm going to give just a moment here, let my team give us a thumbs up on the audio and video, make sure that you can all see me okay and hear me okay before I dive into this exciting content. And maybe not exciting for everyone, but it's exciting for us, right? Today, I'm going to talk to you about acquisition reviews and how to do a quick level one due diligence in just a few minutes. And I love this because this is the most exciting part of the transaction for me. So I see some notes coming on here. I'm going to give the right team a minute here. But this is the most exciting part of the transaction for me because when the offer letters go out and the sellers get our offers and the calls and the letters and the emails and the texts start coming back in that they want to sell, this is the first thing I do. Great. Now do I want to buy the property? And the way we do it, we're sending out thousands by the week. And I need to be able to do this in minutes. I can't spend all day looking at one property. I need to be able to review, 20 properties a day and get through them real quick and get my team moving on them and buying them and posting for sale. So that's what today is all about. Okay, good. I got the thumbs up. So thank you very much for my YouTube folks letting me know that we're all good. So let's dive in. Again, I am Jill DeWitt, co-founder of Land Academy, and here's the agenda we're going to cover for today. So we're going to talk about due diligence. I call it like due diligence 101 or due diligence level 1. What is important and what do you need to look at when you quickly assess these properties? I'm going to go into, I have two case studies I'm going to show you. One is an example of a property that I said made the cut, we bought it. And one's an example of a property that didn't work for us. And I'm going to show you why and what I did real quick just to, say pass, move on. Don't waste time on it. Next, we're going to go and we have a winner we're going to announce today. We're giving away a free Land Academy program. I'm excited for that. That's always good. And then at the end, I'm going to open up to Q&A. So you can ask anything about what we're talking about today, Land Academy, bring it, anything you want. So glad you were here. Okay, so acquisition review in minutes. As I was stating earlier, this is important. We send out anywhere from 2,500 to, we've sent out 15,000, almost 20,000 at a time units. At one time, when I say 15 to 20,000, that was a mailer we were excited about. We needed to get some properties for a certain criteria we're working on. And I told my partner, Stephen Butala, I said, let her rip. We're ready. We can handle this. So we just blast out these offers. And if you do it right, you've got it into a system. What you don't want to do is have a bunch of things coming in and then nothing going on, and a bunch of things coming in and nothing going on. You want to get this consistent into a system. And so what's going to happen is you're going to have daily people, once you get this going, reaching out to you that want to sell your property. And one of the best things too about having it into a system is you have so much to choose from. You want to have so much deal flow that you can do what I do and go, yes, no, no, yes, and pick the good ones and tell the other ones, no, thank you, and move on. And that's one of the things about our offer letters. We state on there, this is all subject to our approving of the deal. And even though they sign it and send it back and they love my offer, I have 6 reasons on my offer there I can say, sorry, this doesn't work for me, and move on. So, all right. So what is important? So level 1 due diligence. What is level 1 due diligence, first of all, and level 2? Why do we even have these levels? Like I said, you're going to be sending out offers in the masses. So you have 20, hopefully, maybe you just have 5 a day, maybe you have 2 a day, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You have a lot going on. You've got to review them quickly and decide if it's worth taking to the next level. So today is all about what I do in 5 minutes or less to decide if I like a property worth taking to the next level. worth picking up the phone and calling the county about what I can do with the property, worth really digging deep into something I uncovered with the ownership and how we, convey the property, that kind of thing. This is just a quick cursory overview. So what are the things that I look for? As you can see here, of course, access. And I don't mess around anymore. Once upon a time when we were first starting out, we used to say that, gosh, I'll buy any property for any price, if the price is right, kind of thing. There's always a price that it worked. Not anymore. I have so many properties. I have such a solid team, and I have such, funds. I'm not messing around anymore. I'm only picking the good ones, the ones I love. I know it's going to happen. They're going to sell fast. And one of the things is access. So I'm very serious about access. I want legal, I want physical, hopefully both. If I have to pick one, I'll pick legal over physical, because once I have a legal access that's platted out, I know where the road would go. I just have to get the money to put it in, kind of thing. So what else is important? Affordability and price. That's a no-brainer. I need to know that if I buy this property today at this offer price that I'm staring at with a signed purchase agreement here, is it still past my test? Sometimes it doesn't, but usually it does. Acreage and size. Do I still love it? Is it work in that neighborhood for what I'm trying to accomplish? Is it a healthy one, to support the price? Attribute. Um, yes, I see a couple questions I'm popping in here too. Yes, Dan, for people who are wondering about the contest, I'm going to get to that after I do this presentation. Then the next thing I'll get to is the contest and announcing that. So if you're here to win something, you're in the right place. Good question. Okay, so acreage size, talk about that. Attribute, you know, and the way, if you notice what I've got right here, I've got 4 A's. And this is something that my partner, Stephen Butala, came up with a while ago. We call it the 4 A's. When you buy a property, especially when you're new, you want all four. And I want access, obviously, affordability, acreage, for stuff we're doing, depending on what you're trying to go for, usually bigger the better. And then attribute, I want something great about it. Like the properties I'm buying now, my attributes are the view, a stream, maybe the proximity to, maybe it's a Zoom town. It's 2 hours outside of San Francisco or Sacramento or something where people can live there and drive to it. That could be an attribute. I'm also looking for, these are all the things that I quickly eyeball, and I'll show you how I do it. Seller status. Are they alive? That's really kind of bit. And am I talking to the right guy? Area code. And then this is some of the things that come along at the end of it. Once I get past these biggies here, this is what things I look at first and make sure I've got the right guy and he's alive and everybody can do the transaction. Then I'm going to start doing things from, this is all my level 1 due diligence. Area and the zip code, days on market. I look at that because I'm trying to get a gauge for what's moving in the area. And I'll show you here how to look at that for land. But I also look at housing too. I don't discount what's moving house-wise because land's not far behind it. Taxes, the HOA or POA status, so homeowner association or property owner association, and the status. That's important to me because that could kill the deal. It could pass all these other attributes, everything great, and then I find out they are 6 years behind on the HOA and the fees add up to more than the property itself. That's going to kill it, and that's why this is all part of my level 1 quick due diligence. And then another thing is I don't get too far into it, but I'm alert to them, or deed issues. Is there some weird uh, deed restriction, like you haven't used this one in a while. There's a place in Scottsdale called McCormick Ranch, and the person, it's a train park, and the whoever owned it years and years and years ago said this will always be a train park, and they made a deed restriction. So it's something that I don't want to buy. Unless I want a train park. So make sure I didn't skip one. Yes. So how am I going to collect this information, Jill? Okay, now I know what's important. the seller calls in or the seller responds, I need, I want to act professional. I want to sound professional and I want to collect all these things and I don't want to miss anything. What should I do? Well, don't worry. I made a checklist for you and it's free and you can get it off our land investors online community site. So I wanted to show you real quick where to get this form. So if you go to landinvestors.com, you can see the site. And if you scroll down to, you can see under Stephen and Jill templates, we have a bunch of different things in there, but one of them right at the top, it says inbound land seller call sheet. You can print it out as a PDF. It's free, change it, use it. Oh, I went too far, sorry there, got ahead of myself. And here we go. And here's what it looks like. So as you can see here, and this will all, I know some of the font might be kind of small, but you can go get the sheet yourself anytime you want, number one. And number two, this whole presentation will be made available. If you wanted, just send a note to my team at support@landacademy.com and they will get this to you. It's all be in PDF form. You can have all this. All right, so you can see here on my land seller call sheet, and I made this myself years ago. It's because I needed it. Instead of trying to remember every time somebody called, what to ask for, I just made it, easy for myself. And every time I have a new employee or, somebody new, they either have a sheet right there or a stack of them there that they just fill them in, and so you can collect all the information about the seller, all the parcel information. You'll remember to ask, hey, are the taxes current? This is all the stuff you need for your level 1 due diligence on this sheet here. So now I'm going to give you, we're going to go into the tools that I use, and then I'm going to give you a case study. So the tools that I use, I want to make sure I keep, oops, I am in my case study. My mouse is, I have a jumpy mouse here. So here's my case study that we're going to talk about first. So I've got 2 properties that came in from Lake County, California. So, and what happened with these 2 properties, the seller got our offers, he signed them, scanned them in and emailed to us. So, all right, my team jumps in. What they do next is input them in Airtable for me, and I look at them. Here, I'm just going to give you the details of the property and what I'm looking for right now. So, here's the parcels, and by the way, I own them. You can look them up, have fun. So, here's the APNs, and we're going to look at them together. By the way, I'm going to show you on Neighbor Scoop too. So parcel A, parcel B, it turns out we had sent this gentleman and his wife 2 offers to 2 properties side by side. I didn't know that going into it because we sent out, mass mailers at a time, but it just happened to hit both of his properties were in there. I think we were mailing, I want to say when we do mailers, we will do chunks in lots of variable acreage. I want to say this was going for 5 to 40 acres. Sometimes I'll do, 40 and above or 20 and above. I'll just, like I said, let her rip. We'll go crazy. But anyways, these are both in the 20-acre range. They both got to the seller. Our original offer prices were parcel A, $11,286. Parcel B, $11,719. And so the total was $23,005.51 for 45 acres. So this all comes in, everybody gets excited. And of course, don't get excited yet. We got to look at these. And then the other details that were important that my team collected at the time real quick was, hey, they're alive. And, see, we got the original purchase agreements back and bought in 1995 as a location for a retirement home. I kind of like knowing that because that tells me about something about the property. He's not a flipper like me. He's not another investor. He's owned it for a long time. The chances of anything happening, nothing's crazy going on there in the last whatever years. It didn't change hands 6 times. This guy has lovingly owned this property, and that makes me feel real good. And what's interesting too is this mailer went out before all the fires. I mean, it's crazy how things happen. We blasted Lake County, and then all of these fires are hitting. And fortunately, I never looked like that guy because they all hit before. But now what's happening is I'm really being picky, and people are saying, yeah, I kind of get it. Am I still buying some property around there? Heck yeah, I'm not afraid of it. And you know what? Since the fires and and some road closures and changes, you know, I'm getting more calls. So it's really interesting. Okay, so now let's talk about, and I'll show you here what I use. So, so I use the tools I use right now for due diligence 101 are I use neighborscoop.com, and you'll see why in a second. What I get at NeighborScoop is I can confirm the seller information real quick. I can get a quick visual of the property. I can look at all the property data. I can check some sales comp. I can see what they paid for it sometimes. I can get flood maps, and I can also get it quickly drops into Google Earth and get a view of that. I also use Zillow.com. This is all my 5 minutes here. This is taking more than 5 minutes, but I go through this stuff fast when I'm in my office and doing it. Or I sometimes, so it doesn't have to be Zillow, but some other MLS data-driven real estate website. Why do I care? I'm looking to see what's available for sale, even though I know it's not all the properties on the planet that are available, because a lot of the properties, even the ones that I do, I don't get them on the MLS. Sometimes I post them just on my own website, other land selling sites, through all kinds of ways with social media. But if there's a lot on Zillow, then I'm already going to go, now I'm out kind of thing. But I'm also going to look at comps, the numbers. I'm going to look at, what's moving in that area. So, and there's more and more. What's great too is more and more of these sites are capturing land sold comps, land posting, which is great. And then at the bottom, I just threw in here just sometimes, depending on the property, I will use Title Pro 24/7. I pull property reports in there sometimes. I want to get, and usually I'll go digging for a plat map. And because everything else I do is level 2. I'm not digging that deep right now. This is my quick hit or miss. And so if I'm scrolling through, I'm looking at a property, gosh, it looks great. I have a question about the access, and that's like the only piece. And the guy says there's legal access. I might really quickly, because I can still do this in 5 minutes, jump into Title Pro and pull up a property report, and it'll have plat maps in there. And then I can see, yep, there it is. And then I've got it and move on. Okay, so let's go. I'm going to show you here an example of, I need to pull my case study. I'm going to open up NeighborScoop. I'm going to pop in the county. 1 second. I need to I have to cut and paste, excuse me, everyone. I need to copy the APN over. All right, so here we go. All right, so here's NeighborScoop, by the way. As you can see, I can search by APN or I can search by address. One of the reasons let me back up right now. Full disclosure, we created NeighborScoop. It is 100% our site. It's because nothing out there existed like it, and boy, do we need it. I watched someone the other day talking about something and saying, how do I find these properties without an address? And you're right. 99% of the properties that I'm buying do not have a physical address yet, and there's no way to pull them up. So here you go. So here I am, Lake County. Let's go find this property here together. And there it is. Back in the day before we had NeighborScoop, I can't tell you how long this would have taken me to do, to pull up, to find it, to figure it out. And as you can see, I mean, and if you've done this for a while or you've looked at some legal descriptions, it's not like it's very easy to go find. It's a chore to figure out where to find these properties. But here we go. So here's property number 1. And what's great is with this parcel, you can see it's got the same last name. I own it now, but it hasn't updated with the county yet. So once the county gets it updated, it'll pop in here as me. That's just kind of an interesting note. Some counties do them quicker. I don't know about COVID times now. I think we have a little bit of a lag. And some counties only do them once a year anyway. They wait till the end of the year and they just do them all at once and they populate them. But as you can see, here are my 2 properties. Look at this Highway 20. Talk about access. So these offers came back. This is the first thing I did is look these up and went, okay, now I'm interested. Wow. Now the next thing I'm doing is, okay, I got the name. Let's look at some of these things here. I want to see the details on this property. Here we go. So I can scroll down. I got zoning. I can get into this. I can look at, double check the owner. Yep, got them. Assessed value. I don't really care about assessed value because it's so often not sales values, and I'll show you why. This assessed value could have been just left over and only increased that tiny little bit since this gentleman bought it in 1995, which is really what it looks like. And guess what? Isn't this great? I can see it was a grant deed. I can see the date it was recorded in October 95. Okay, this guy's story is true. I can scroll down, double check the acreage, that kind of thing. Love it. Now, one of the another great things about Neighbor Scoop is FEMA flood maps. Not that I'm worried about this in this area, it's right against the road, but some of the properties that we're buying, or gosh, if you're in some wet places like Florida, I mean, this is important to you. You want to see the FEMA flood maps. And if I want to look, I can scroll out and I can even see, yep, there it is, it's populating and doesn't affect me at all. Okay, so now, Pat, this all my tests, I'm like flying colors, I'm loving it. There's a couple of things I'm really concerned about. I'm concerned about the slope real quick. I want to get eyes on it. And then I want to look at some comps. And then if it passes last two things, I'm buying it. So let's go. I'm going to pop this in to, how does Steven do this? I think, bear with me. My computer's set up a little bit different than Steven's. Yes. All right, here we go. This is one of the beauties too. I mean, as you notice these properties, it's not just a square. So many of the properties don't have four corner points like this one. And to be able to, with a click of a button, like you just saw, drop it into Google Earth like I just did, is such a time saver, especially when my team is getting visuals together to post a property for sale, mapping, showing a photographer where it is, giving them GPS coordinates. It's so nice to have this. So look at this baby, man. I'm actually really excited. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna put both of them side by side because it's really kind of cool that I can do this. And there's my other property. What's great about these is not only is the highway going along here, but these are like fire roads and other roads, and it actually has a name back in here. You can see. I'm not going to get too far into it, but these are things that really just jump out at me. Like, yeah, this is good. And also, let me show you how you'll. This is like Google Earth. You can get lost in Google Earth playing this, but this is a Clear Lake. I think that you can get in and see. My point of just showing you is this. There are places, it looks like they started a road or something right there. There's some stuff I can do with here. There's a little start of a road right here. Awesome. There's something going on here. And here's a little part of a road up in here. So I've got all kinds of places and things I can do with this thing. So I'm check, check, and check. This passes. And it's big. I mean, remember, I'm playing with 45 acres. So I can find on here, you can kind of see where you could have some flat spots that we can work with. And this guy bought it for that reason, and I believe him. So now that passes Google Earth. Let's go look at, I'm going to show you Zillow here because this is kind of good too. So I did all that. All right. I'm going to look at the zip code. I kind of want to see what's going on in the zip code here in Zillow. You can pull up city, you can pull up county, pull up zip, whatever you want. I want to get some comps and what's going on in the area here and just make sure I'm about to buy 45 acres for $22,000, which I think it's a home run. I'm just confirming it. So I'm going to make sure I pick lots of land. And let's look at first. This is what's for sale right now in this area. And you know what? I'm going to be detailed. I don't care about 3 acres. I'm going to go into what's for sale right now. These are 20 acres. Are there any other 20 acres out there? Check it out. There's 2. And look at what I've got right here. Here's 1. There's 2 in my zip. They are big, but look at the pricing. Let me drop it down to 10. hang on a minute here. This is the stuff you're going to do and you're going to get really good at. Let's just say 10 acres. All right, look at this one, 18 acres for $60,000. I'm about to buy 20 acres off a highway for $11,000. I think this passes my test. This is my point I wanted to make here. And if you really want to get into it, sometimes I'll click on the sold button and just say, okay, what's moved in this area? All right, look at this. 10 acres sold for 40,000. I'm buying 20 for 11. I'm buying actually 40 for 20,000. So you can see why all these things, this is right now done, passes my test, due diligence, check. So let's show you here. I'm gonna show you what ended up happening. So at the end, here's a comp too. I'm not going to get into it right now, but you can show here's a 20 acres that sold for 53,000. There's just another one I threw in. I found a couple better ones randomly live, so this is even better. In this, in level 2 due diligence, once I came back to my team and said, find out more what's possible. I want to know this, this, and this, and I want to get this in escrow today. That's pretty much how it goes. And we uncovered that mobile homes and houses are allowed. Mobiles are awesome. When you find property that you can put a mobile on, that just opens up so many more possibilities for your buyers. I love it. Also found out in Lake County that property that we're sitting on there is zoned for marijuana farms. Huge bonus for some buyer. There's a lot of money and a lot of people that are looking for those properties. So that was just great. So here's what's going to happen at the end. We paid at closing, it was 22. By the time I was all done, it was $24,411 at closing. I'll give you all my real numbers. And I'll update this later. I think I'll have to remember to do that. Put what we sold them at so you can kind of see how it goes at the end. Here's what I'm going to list them for. I'm going to list them for $57,900 for one because I got the comps to show it. And my properties are better, by the way. Like if you pull this Zillow one on here for $53,000, it's not nearly as good as mine. I don't know if it has the marijuana allowed. They didn't put it in the description, that's for sure. And it doesn't have the highway and all the other access points that mine have. It's kind of buried up in there. Love it. And then my other one I'm gonna sell for $61,000. So by the time it's all done, I pretend I could make $95,000. Even if I screw it all up and I do everything wrong and I make half that, I'm happy with half that. That was a good mailer. So that's what you're doing here. So now I'm going to go into a brief overview of case study number 2, one that I said, and how quickly you can see it and spot it and just kick them to the curb. Okay, so Kern County, California. Let me get the, actually, let's do it this way. We fill in this for you here. All right, so let's jump over to Kern County. Okay. This is a good view. You have a couple, by the way, this is not all about Neighbor Scoop, but just to show you what the beauty of Neighbor Scoop, I have a lot of different maps I can choose from. I can really get into topography. I can really get into different things if I really want to. I'm looking for access. So this initial view is nice because this Churchill Street, Mitzi Street, these are platted access. You can see it. So that's really great. Because watch what happens when I switch it. When I switch it to the real view, you're like, maybe. You know, it's kind of like, I'm not sure. Is this path? Is that something? No, it's not. But you can see this is. So I love it. Maybe I'm gonna look at. Let's see. Now this one, yeah, we do have a FEMA issue. So does it necessarily mean it's a run from it now? Not sure. It's 20 acres, but it could be. Here's my other thing too. It's 20 acres and gosh, nobody else is doing anything around here. So right now I'm going, this is my very first view of this property. You know, it came back as due diligence. I'm already going, uh-oh, I see what's going to happen here. But I'm still going to look a little bit more before I totally officially say, not buying it. And stuff like this gets in. And this is the point too. You want to blast so much mail out that, Yeah, some of these are going to come in. You assess them quickly and you move on. I don't care. You don't look at them ahead of time. Just get it in the mail and see what comes back. So, all right. So this is Jose. I'm going to go back. Let's look at the details on this one real quick too. Moment. So the original offer. So it turns out this was one that was a call that we got recently. Our offer was $2,000 over 10 years ago. You know, when it comes in, you're thinking, well, 20 acres for 10,000, and we offered a long time ago. I might be interested. Let's look. So that's what happened. The guy's alive, able to sign. He bought it back in 04. All right. Now I'm entertaining it. So let's go look at some of the details. Yeah, okay, look at this. The guy did buy it in 04, and look, he paid $8,500. That's interesting. All right, let's see what else. Legal description, all good stuff. Let's just really see. I'm gonna look it on Google Earth and see. It's not looking good though. There's nothing going on out here. So I'll entertain it. Let's just see if I can find anything out there being built. Just see if there's something special about it that's not showing up here. No, there's nothing special showing up. I'm not seeing. This is a tough one, and I feel bad because this is just not a great area to be sending mail. Look at, there's nothing out here. This guy called me back. Shucks, I don't want it. So, and then I can go into further detail, but I think I want to get to the fun stuff. So let me give you I'll cut to the chase and give you the other important items that you need to know about this property. Second here. So after I did my due diligence, remember, here's are the things that I look at. I put my tools back in here again. I did Neighbor Scoop. I went to Zillow, and I would do that. I would go to Zillow and go, I don't know, is there something funky going on out there? Let's give it 30 seconds and see if there's a reason why I might want to buy it, or even change my offer price, kind of thing. And this is what happened. Okay, so again, the Neighbor Scoop showed he paid $8,500 in 2004. I feel bad for him, but that's not, if I bought it, it's not what I would even give him. I wouldn't give him $10,000 for it. And back when he bought it in 04, there's still no growth in the area. We just saw that. Here we go. I pulled up in Zillow, I showed Kern County, and I showed you a little bit how to sort and use that. I sorted for properties, anything over 10 acres for sale. I found 408. I don't want to play with that. Why would I don't want to be 409 of that. And look at what's going on there. There's nothing. And then what sold in the last 12 months, when you go into Zillow and a lot of these other sites, you can put in sold comps, listed comp. You can put in parameters like that. And I put in what sold in the last 12 months just to see 43. And the prices they sold at were silly. It's just not worth my time. So, and as I said, and you could see there were no real attributes. I mean, there's legal access, but physical is questionable. Who knows when someone was last out there? So this is a kind of deal that I do completely pass on. It's, again, I just spend minutes on it and just say sorry and move on. And this too, for people who are getting into this, I want you to know what's going on in Kern County. There's a little side note to help you. It's an area I won't even mail anymore. And like I said, when they call back, unless it's a beautiful, part, near, I'm trying to think, one of the big cities in, I don't know, Bakersfield's there, but some great, infill lot near there or something downtown. But I wouldn't be sending any mail there, and I don't send any mail out there right now to save you. Now is the time I know you have anxiously been waiting for. I am so excited. I'm glad you are here. We have quite a few here. As you can see, I have a very full drawer to draw from of winners. So here's what's going to happen. All right. Today's winner is going to receive, whoever I draw out of this containers, I get the lid off. They will get all of the Land Academy, everything Land Academy has to offer. So that is 3 programs right now. Number 4 is being worked on as we speak. You will get our original Cash Flow from Land program. You will get 1.0, which is rural vacant land, which is a refresh that we did in the last 18 months. Can't remember, but we did recently with some of the updated things for now from 2015. And you will also get Land Academy 2.0, which is info lots, which, by the way, I'm watching and seeing a lot of our community, myself included, find some great deals with info lots. I'll know what's going on with housing right now. I just watched a CoreLogic webinar. Steve and I watched a CoreLogic webinar all about housing market today. It was really informative about the what's coming and how fast things are selling in the housing arena. So it's another good thing to consider. Okay, so in addition to that, I'll knock it off. Get to the names. The winner will get. We've never done this before, too, by the way. We'll get 1 month free of Neighbor Scoop. You just saw it. It's an add-on thing that we offer because I have two products. I have Neighbor Scoop and I have Parcel Fact that you could use when you do your due diligence to look at properties. And I love Neighbor Scoop times 10, way more than Parcel Fact for plat maps, or not plat maps, for the FEMA flood maps and the Google Earth and some other things that you can do in there. I love it more. So you get 1 month free and you get that first month's membership for $1. So, all right. So this is it. And I love all the questions. So I promise I will get to your questions here in a few minutes. I have some good stuff. All right. I'm not cheating. Let me go back. All right. And the winner today, oops, here we go, is, all right, I'm going to hold it up. Jeff Amore. I don't know if it's Jeff Amore or Jeff Amore, but Jeff Amore, you just won the Land Academy program. Yay! You are now an official member of our elite, awesome community. And my team's going to be reaching out to you very soon. I'm looking to see if you are here. If you would chime in, let me know that you're watching and you're here. I think I did this a couple months ago, and one was with us, and one time one was like, I saw it at night. I was so excited. So anyway, if you are here, welcome. I know I have several of our members that are here. Oh, Jeff's here. Woohoo! Yay, Jeff, congrats. All right, you're in. Welcome. And don't forget, Jeff, tomorrow is our first, your first weekly Land Academy member call. And I'm going to leave this note. I'm actually at Steven's desk right now. That's his background here. So I'm going to leave this little note right here for me. So for tomorrow on our weekly Land Academy member call, I will give you a nice shout out again, and what you can, then the whole community can welcome you together tomorrow. So congratulations. Okay. I'm not going to leave everybody else hanging. So if you have been wanting to get in, watching, notice it was closed, waiting for this promotion, and want to be part of Land Academy in our community, we have just reopened enrollment today. So I want to let everybody officially know it is open, should be open right now. If not, will be by the time this is done. It will be open. Everyone who's on the wait list, you are all officially cleared, and I have 5 additional spots. So, and here's what we're doing. So for all of you, today we are between today through Sunday. The deadline is Sunday. Let me make this so you can see it. You can see it here. All right, hold please. There we go. All right, so special for everyone. You get $1,000 off and 1 month of Neighbor Scoop nationwide. It's always nationwide, but nationwide access for free with the promo code 5 spots, because there are 5 spots. So if you go to Land Academy and you click on the join button, you find the page is now going to be there, and you fill it all in and you put in 5 spots and it works, you're in. So do it. And it's between now and Sunday. Sunday is the deadline, unless they fill it faster. So that is the scoop. And for those of you on the wait list, I know my team will be reaching out to you with special login credentials to get that special and your credit that you have applied to that. Yay! So welcome, congratulations, Jeff. I'm so happy. And also watch for on Monday offers to owners. Just a little side note, I happen to know they're going to have a promotion starting on Monday. So those of you spending this weekend, like a lot of us do, working on our mailers, getting ready to go out, there will be a special promotion happening on Monday. So watch your email or on the website offers2owners.com for that next. All right. This is it. Time for your questions. So happy. All right, I'm going to scroll back. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. I'm looking at the congrats and the people welcoming Jeff and the community. That's one of the things about us. Um, Thank you, Ross. He said you'll love Land Academy. We're a pretty tight community. We help each other a lot. And just the stuff I'm doing right now, we give like this, all of us. And it's so fun if you haven't been on, if you ever want to, anybody watching right now too, if you want to be a fly on the wall and get a one-time invite to our weekly member call, it's every Thursday at 3 o'clock Pacific time. We all get together for about 2 hours, and it's Stephen and I, and we cover valuable content, and then we, just open up Q&A to all kinds of things. We'll get real detailed. It's real specific about properties and deals and would you do this deal? And hey, I found this. What do you think I should do? That kind of stuff. Just send a note to my team at support@landacademy.com and they will get you in. And then also, again, if you want a copy of my presentation, just send a note there, an email, and they will get that to you. So, all right. And you know what, Paul Moto, you're so good. I'm kind of starting at the bottom. We are starting a Land Academy. We have a lot of accountability groups from members that have kind of made their own, and I'm so happy, and I don't want to disrupt any of that. And I am making myself, and I have made myself available to all of your accountability groups. So if you have a group you want me to show up and talk about some stuff, be a guest, something, let me know. Support@landacademy.com. Just say, we want Jill. I am more than happy to do that. Let me know. And then I am putting together right now, Stephen and I are actually, Stephen's kind of working more on the content, and I'm going to work more on the delivery part. It'd be more of, I'll be there a lot for a lot of these groups. We're putting together our own special Land Academy accountability thing too, because like everything with Land Academy, you ask, we listen. You need it, we gotcha. All right, so I'm gonna go back here and catch up with some of my questions. Let's see if I'm gonna ask my team too. If I miss anything good, let me know. Drop them back in. You're welcome. I see Merv said, very valuable information. Thank you. You are very welcome. D. Hudson said, how do you explore deed restrictions? Usually, I'm looking through past deeds. That's an excellent question. This is going to be level 2 or above that I'm even getting into it. And usually something triggers that. Like somebody says, oh, I still have mineral rights. And even that, I'm not even really concerned about level mineral rights so much because I'm always buying for surface rights and then I sell for surface rights. If somebody got through there and they had mineral rights, good for them. If I sold it and I didn't even know it and I passed it through the next guy and he struck oil, good for him. I'm happy for him. I'm not going to go chase anybody down or even worry about that. That's not what I do. So, but some people look for that. So, maybe you're seeking things like that. You're going to have to go back and I have a couple different sources that I can go through. My two number one sources are Title Pro 24/7, which is members. We all have full access to that. And the other one is CoreLogic. And you can go back and go through the deeds. It's a process because if you're really searching, you got to go back through, almost the beginning of time. I mean, it really is through homestead time and make sure that nobody pulled out mineral rights or pulled out something along the way, because that's what it would be. It would be on a deed that you would find stuff. So sometimes you can see it. It's usually like you'll have the legal description and another line below it. And sometimes what will happen is why you got to keep going back. People will redo the deeds, even escrow agents will miss something sometimes. I know this is shocking, but sometimes they do make mistakes. Sometimes they'll just pull a legal description, put it in, and forget that deed restriction at the bottom. So that's why you got to go back a few and check them. So that's how you find them. And a really, really good question. Oh. Hello, Rebecca. How are you, Rebecca Seidler? She's like, okay, can you talk about how we look up HOA dues and any fees outstanding? What sources do you use? Two. One is, there's kind of three. Okay, there's a couple different ways. One of the ways of deed restrictions is I ask the seller. It's on my initial list. Hey, is there an HOA or a property association? Are you paying any monthly dues for this? Great. Okay, that's number one. And I always kind of want to back it up with something else if I don't know the area. How would I back it up? I'm looking at the legal description. If it's in Sycamore Estates, all right, this is a neighborhood now. This is a community. If it's Sycamore Estates lot number 45, there's a small chance that there's an HOA or something there. So I'm gonna dig a little bit deeper. And then what I usually do at that point, I'm Googling. Not kidding. I'm gonna Google the stuff and try to find it. Or often both if I really think there might be something there. Maybe there's a boat dock at the end of the street. I'm looking at going, all right, there's a really good chance we're in an HOA. It's such and such estates, and it looks like they might have a community boat area, and I see a community pool, but could be a community pool. Then I call the county, and they can help me and point me in the right direction. So, excellent questions. Let's see here. Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you guys. That's true. A little shout out to our people in Northern California. Wait 6 months, it'll be green again. That's true. I just feel sad. I do too for the people that lost their homes there. It is sad. All right, Chelsea, I'm sorry you didn't win, but I've got something else great for you, and glad you are here. Let's see. Oh, yep. This is good. This is so cute. My Land Academy team. So we love the hate. Means your mailer's working. We call the hate when you send out an offer, and the first wave is usually the response that you get is we call it the hate, and that's the people. It's cute. Steven spells it HAIGHT around the office like Haight Ashbury, so it's little, it's special. But the hate is the people that get your offer, they don't like your offer, and they just want to tell you about it. They don't want to sell anyway. They never want to sell. They just want to tell you about it. It's kind of funny. So we often go, all right, this is good. That means the next wave is going to be the good stuff. And that's the people that are like, they get it. It's on the kitchen table. They talk about it for a few nights. They think about it. And then after a week, whatever it is, they're either calling you, they're mailing it in, or they're emailing it to you. So awesome. All right. So hello, David and Jillian Block. Is there a token available to set up an account with Title Pro 24/7? If you're a member in Land Academy, two places to look. One is your new member guide. There's instructions there on what to do, but it should be right on when you go on the Land Academy website on the dashboard. When you log in as a member, you'll see your Title Pro link and your login information. So awesome question. I love having Title Pro 24/7 too, by the way. That's my number 2 thing. Neighbor Scoop, Title Pro. Well, Neighbor Scoop, Google Earth, Title Pro. That's like what I'm looking at. But Title Pro, we acquired. We are able to be licensed providers of this because we were looking for Agent Pro 24/7 a while ago before we had Neighbor Scoop, because I just needed something to find these properties. And we found out that they had a GPS, only the center point. They don't have the whole thing, but they at least had a center point GPS. And I said, I'll take it. And then when we got into it and started talking with Black Knight and found out what Title Pro is, we don't really mess with Agent Pro. I don't want the filtered down version. I want to do everything that a title agent does, and have access to everything I want. And that's Title Pro. And that's what we have and provided to our members. So it is such a good resource. Yes. Thank you, John Help. Neighbor Scoop is powerful. It's amazing to me. Thinking back to the days before we had it, I can remember myself. I would be embarrassed if I had to go to Steven. plenty of times I had to do this. I would just say, I'd throw my hands up and say, I just can't find this property. I need your help. But it used to be like I'd give myself like an hour. If after an hour I can't find it, I'm moving on. But under an hour, I'm doing it. And so how is that for how more efficient we can be now? It's just amazing. Oh, and I have a welcome to give, by the way. Welcome, Arturo. Welcome to Land Academy. I just got a notice that Arturo has just joined, so we're happy to have you. Yay, and glad you're here. You're gonna love Neighbor Scoop. You're gonna like you for people joining now. It is so nice and so easy. It's like you arrived at self-driving cars when I started, and even Stephen before me. It was a struggle. it was it was a crank car. Now they're self-driving. So welcome. All right, let's see. D Hudson, you're getting into this good stuff, and I love it. I can see utility. This is a really good question. Usually with my mapping, if it's paved and there's houses on each side, you can usually assume, and then a quick call to the county will confirm it, whether or not there's utilities. Like that one I was showing you, Kern County way out there. I'm willing to bet there are not utilities. And again, quick call to the county, and that's how you confirm it. How do I get access to property easements? I'm looking for either I will have recorded documents in Title Pro or RealQuest Pro, by the way, too. Don't forget CoreLogic's RealQuest Pro. They have been upping their game like nuts in the last kind of year or two. We've been with them for years, and we have such an amazing relationship with them, and I don't know what we do without them. And they have been now they're on a mission to have every possible document possible on these properties. And then between the three, don't forget I have data tree that you get as a Land Academy member. You actually get all three. I can go in and find between these three. I can go back, as far as I need to, for deeds. I can even find the mortgage docs if I'm looking at a house. I can find plat maps. You can find recorded easements, things like that. It's all in those documents. So. And again, I don't do that until I'm like at level 2. I don't want to dig for an hour until like that current property. If I went digging for an hour and was all hung up on, what I can build on, then I look at it going, oh shoot, look, if I saved the last thing was how's my pricing and what else is out there, I would have been, shucks, I just wasted an hour. I'm not going to buy it anyway. That's what you're trying to do in these quick 5 minutes of due diligence. Let's see here. Oh, okay. David and Jillian, they just found us yesterday, so good. Glad you're here. All right. Let's see here. Lucas asks, "Hello, Lucas Osorio. How do you handle a property that is really that's attractive based on the comps, but the days on market in the area are really, really high?" Okay. If it looks like there's some movement in some property, I would buy it because I know that I'm going to price mine because let me back up. Sometimes the days on market are really, really high because these people have set stupid prices and they don't really want to sell. For example, maybe I'm going to buy something for these properties I'm doing right now, the ones I talked about at the beginning, the Lake County, California ones. I'm buying for $11,000 each, right? So 23,000, whatever, all in for 45 acres. They're 2 20-acre properties. I know I can double my money and get out. I can still mark it up 3 times, right? I could still mark it up to $50,000 for each one. Buying them for 11, marking up to 50, easy, because the comps are supporting 80,000 and up. Now, if I go in and say, well, I want 80,000 too, now I'm putting myself in a situation where I'm just going to sit like the other guys, and I could sit there for several days, or several months, I should say, because I priced it that way. I don't want that. I'm pricing mine at this level where at $50,000, it's going to move. Then my only other job is to get it in front of the right people. That's it. Good question. Paula asks, can you clarify the nothing going on out here? Do you mean there are no great attributes? Great question, Paula. What I was referring to is there's nothing being built. That's it. You can. I like areas where there's some houses out there. If I could see a ranch over here, or one over there, or something like that, some movement for a couple of reasons. One, you know, people can see what's possible, and two, because it shows that somebody else has already figured out utilities and how to get water and gas, all that stuff out there, and probably Wi-Fi, that kind of a thing. That's what I'm looking for. Oh, good question. All right. Hello, backpacker. Uh, Hi, Jill. On the current county offer, do you think there's anything special about your offer letter, that made you get a call back 10 years later? Do your offer letters include an expiration date? Excellent question. And yes, they do. And I do have an expiration date on there, and that doesn't matter. These people, why did this person hang on to my letter for 10 years or more? Because it's professional. I didn't walk around, put a sticky note on their door or a version of that, any gimmicky thing. And and they can look me up and I'm legitimate. So that's usually what happens. We've found these people see your offer letter professional. They at that point they may or may not look you up. No matter what, they're putting it in a file for a rainy day, and that's what happened. And right now, especially with COVID times, that's what's going on. I've got people from 10 or more years ago digging out their file, and it's like finding $10,000 in your pocket. Like, oh my gosh, we forgot about this. We're calling them, and guess what? They're still there. This is fantastic. So that's why, it's interesting. I just really think it's professionalism. That's just the way we treat the people, and how our offers are created. The whole premise. So awesome. All right. Oh, and by the way, the expiration date doesn't matter because we're asking about this. So the offer letters say they're good through a certain date, but we tend to still consider them at later dates. We just look over the pricing. Oh, Paul's answering that. Yeah. Do the due diligence at that time. Yep, exactly right. If someone calls me back and they just say, I know you made an offer for this from 2009, are you still interested? You know what? I might be. I really might be. What do you have? Let's see. And these are great too because it's easy to say, well, lots happened since 2009. And I can say, like the current property, if I was considering the current property, I could say, I'm sure 2008, we thought things were going to move out there. And as we can see now, we're in 2020 and still nothing has been built out there, kind of thing. So let's see. All right, got a lot of congratulations. Here's Jeff. Hey, Jeff. Woohoo. Glad to have you. Let's see. Lots of congrats, Jeff. This is so good. All right. Okay, here we go. Chelsea Dreyer has a question. Hi, Jill. As a land flipper, what are the things you cannot live without? Oh. All right. My laptop. I don't care if I'm answering. Help me if I'm answering this right, Chelsea. I just have to have good Wi-Fi on my laptop. That's it. That's all it. I can do this anywhere. I can do this, and I have done this sitting in pre-COVID, sitting in a McDonald's because that was the closest Wi-Fi I could get, drinking coffee for 2 hours while my kid was falling asleep in the booth next to me. So that's it. And then the tools, I've got to have Neighbor Scoop. I've got to have RealQuest Pro. I've got to have Title Pro because I need it. I use it. I got to have Data Tree. I could go. It depends on houses and land. I use all three, so I really need them all. If there were things upside down, who knows what? If I had to go out and buy them separately by myself, I would because I would use them. They're worth the money. Cheap mail. I have to have cheap mail. I can't get by without that. And that's again why we created offers to owners. I need someone who understands me and what I do, what kind of customer I am, what my letters are like, and I don't need all the frills of postcards or silly things like that. Okay, let's see, great question. And then for the rest of it, I can get by with a spreadsheet, but now I use Airtable. So to keep track of all my transactions and postings and things like that. All right. Hello, Kevin Perney. Does NeighborScoop have data available for states like Idaho that protect owner data? I think it does because I have to go look. If you on NeighborScoop, I'm not gonna do it right now, but on NeighborScoop, there's a map showing where you can see information, and we have a lot of Idaho information. We can get Idaho ownership information. There just are laws about sending them letters. That's the whole point. So you could be reaching sellers, I guess, in different ways. Maybe you're working with an agent, or maybe you're just thinking about where you want to live and putting it. I really think it's in there. I want to say, because I have personally, Stephen and I have personally looked at buying property in Idaho, and I'm pretty sure that I have used NeighborScope to see, oh, that's who lives there, and that's what they paid, and okay, that's what's going on there, that kind of a thing. So, because that's nothing that you can't have. It's just hitting them with direct offers, like the things about the do not call list. It's just a rule like that. Doesn't mean you can't get somebody's information. You just can't use it in that way. Is what it is. So that's good. All right. Oh. Yes. Thank you, Paul Moto. I'm going to be on there next Wednesday afternoon. I think it's afternoon. I will be making a guest appearance and talking about whatever Paul's accountability group wants to talk about next Wednesday. Yay. Yes. Yes, Cindy Lee, this is recorded. You can check it out later. And you can get a copy of the presentation also. All right, Backpacker, good questions here. For new investors who are targeting cheaper properties, like $1,000 to $2,000 acquisition price, which would be closed in-house, got it. Would you recommend skipping mailing LLCs and trusts to simplify due diligence? Heck no, because sometimes an LLC is me. I have an LLC that's only in my name. I have an LLC with Stephen and we have other LLCs. So I would totally use LLCs and trusts. Could be husband and wife trust of 1994. And then all you do is get a copy of the trust document just showing who's supposed to sign for that. And they're used to that. They'll know that they need to provide those documents at the same time. No big deal at all. I love it. Alex Jabor says, do you send a check with a mobile notary, or do you record the deed first before sending a check? I do it with a mobile notary. When I'm doing a self or in-house, whatever you want to call it, closed transaction, or I'm buying something for $1,000, I made my own deed. I arranged the notary and Mr. Smith to meet at the outside now of Starbucks, around the corner from his house, kind of thing. There's an envelope in there with a $1,000 cashier's check payable to him. And then I just have the notary, I just tell him right there, hand this to the seller at the time of the signing. So awesome question. Yay. All right. Let's see here. Good questions. Thank you, Paul. I love it. We're calling it the Holy Trinity real estate data services. Exactly right. Right. Good questions. All right. Kevin Perney asked, what tools do I use for the second level due diligence? I'm guessing. So the first ones I use are the ones I showed today. Next, I'm going to dig deeper. I might go into RealQuest Pro or Title Pro and look at past deeds if it's only been owned for, say, 5 years. I want to see what happened before that kind of thing, just double checking the chain of title. That's really what I'm looking for. Often, too, the properties that I'm doing now, my own properties, I'm at the price point. I'm not digging that far because I'm buying them through escrow with title insurance. So I'm letting them find those things out. So it's really the deals that say they're under $5,000 that you might be doing, that you're doing your own due diligence. You're wearing your title agent hat. That's exactly what you're doing here. So you did your level 1. Now your debt level 2 is, now I'm serious about buying it. Before I spend $3,000 here, Nobody's around to double check my work. It's me. So you're acting as your own title agent, and that's where I want you to dig in the tools. And you're calling the county. You're double checking back taxes. You're double checking what the property can be used for. You're looking to see if there could be any liens on the property. And all of these tools, a variety of these tools, there are lien reports and things that you can pull that, and if something's recorded, they pop up exactly the same as a title agent would do in the tools that you already have. And that's the level 2 due diligence. And that's really, for me, there's just those two levels. It's level 1, yes or no. Level 2, we answer these other questions. At the end of that, we're either buying it or we're not. That's it. Let's see here. Hi, Sean Brown. Sean says, how do you gauge market info to price offers or negotiate final price in non-disclosure states like Texas? So what's so funny about Texas is it's I can't tell you how many times I go through and click around. Let me show you something real cool here. You'll like this. All right. I can click. Okay, so one of the beautiful things about Neighbor Scoop here, here's my target property. I can click on the guy next door. All right, let's see what's going on. No, I don't have the sale information. I'm gonna click on this guy over here. Here we go. Look at this one. I clicked a couple parcels over, just kind of getting engaged. It's also 20 acres. I can see that. Here's the APN. Here's the person's name. Good stuff. Look at the sale information I have here. I can see they bought it in, they bought it 2/1/2003. It was recorded 2/14/2003. They paid $35,500. They bought it from this company right here. I can see the document number. I can see the land title company. Look at this. Want to talk about even further? I'm glad we're doing this. This is the value of Neighbor Scoop. I can see they took out a mortgage. So this is something right now. Okay, what I would be thinking, say, I was thinking about buying this property. I would go, all right, 2003, $28,000. I got to make sure this is paid off. I already know right there that there's a potential lien on the property. So the question was non-disclosure states. Just how I clicked around here in this property, in this area, on other things, I can click around and get all kinds of Texas stuff. It doesn't mean that you're not going to find statistics. So play with the area. You might find it. But most importantly, I'm not so concerned about the sales price, what it went for versus what's available now. And back in the day, I was more concerned when I had nothing to go by. And now with Zillow and Trulia and Realtor and Redfin, a lot of these sites got so robust, and I'm getting land figures in there. I am finding more, and I have some wonderful land only brokers that I work with that I can call brokers in a lot of areas and get brokers' opinions. So this takes a lot of the guesswork out for me. And when we're doing the prices, when we're doing our offer prices, that's some of the stuff that Stephen looks at too. He's looking at an area, he's looking at comps, and then he'll gauge our offer price on a percentage of those comps. And he will gauge them. We always go down, whatever. If you're on the fence on, this is a good one. When you're pricing your offers and you're on the fence about how, should I go high? Should I go low? Go lower than you think, especially right now with COVID times. For two reasons. One, you'd be surprised how many people say yes. It's shocking how many people that say yes right now. They just sign it, send it back, and are so happy. And number two, it's easier to add money. If there's somebody that this gentleman for $11,000 in my Lake County, he could have said, you know what, $30,000 for both, you can have them. I might have done it. It's not crazy, but it was, because I still know what I can make off them. So there you go. Awesome questions. Thank you, D. Hudson. D. Hudson's an amazing content. Thank you very much. Let's see. Justin Tiffany, hello. Does Land Academy help with marketing and selling of the properties as well? We do offer some resources. We do offer places to post properties. for free through some of my resources. Like it's called Land Pin. I have to think about that. Land Pin, one of our selling sites is Land Pin. And as a community, you can post your property there for free. And it's great because so many of us, and then if someone clicks on it, it takes them to your website, takes them however you want them to go and check out and do that. So, but it's great because it's a catch-all for all kinds of land that all of us are selling. So it has a lot of traffic that we can share. And then people can search for an area. They might buy yours, Justin. They might scroll down to Kevin's. They might buy Matt's, whatever kind of thing. But it's a really good way for traffic. We don't, at the time, it's funny you say this because this has been something that we have considered off and on over the years of Land Academy. And it's kind of back on I do have a team that's working on this again, thinking about for my properties, because I'm getting a really good system going where when I buy the property, I'm getting an army of people doing different things to get it posted on different sites. It still requires one person to kind of oversee it, and it requires, there's a lot of moving parts: getting the photos, getting drone shots. Do we need drone shots? Writing the descriptions, putting it on the website, your website, this website, sharing it in social media, getting it in certain social media groups. So there's a lot of moving parts. We currently don't do that for people, but we tell you how to do that. Number one, part of Land Academy is don't worry. I will show you all the things that I do, and you could make a spreadsheet and 100% copy me down to the letter. Do whatever. I don't care. I want you to, And then the second thing is I'm thinking about a version of that. I don't know what it's going to be yet because I know it's something that's important to all of us because it takes time. All right. You are welcome, backpacker. This is Unco 2. How much weight do you put on access to power, water, ability to drill a well? Is that part of your due diligence? I put this much into it. If it's pretty much one phone call, and it's in my posting. And is there water or power? Nope. Is it here? It's either yes or it's no kind of thing for so much of my land. Other properties, whole different ballgame, of course. But for much of my land properties, it is or it isn't. And if it's at the lot line, I'll do that. And how do I find this out? It's one phone call to the county. Do I dig to the county and say, well, how much would it cost to get it out here? And how much is that? And who do we do this? I don't even go into that. And that's part of why that's part of the advantage in the pricing and our whole business model. It's always been this way and it's worked out great. People buy property from us really cheap. They're going to put in that time. They're going to do the work. And I tell them that's part of why it's so cheap. If I did this, if the property I'm going to sell for $50,000, I might sell it for $80,000 if I'm going to go put in the time and do the work and figure it all out and go that far. Then I'm going to change my price. But that's it. But excellent question. But when you're posting, you state, like I said, it exists or it's not. And then we'll just say, if you look at one of our postings, it'll say, where to get, it might say like alternative, you can see it in there. So thank you. So good. Hello, Cindy Lee. Cindy Lee says, when people reply to Jill's letter and they look her up, how is she signing her letters for them to look her up? Great question. Do I have one? Shoot, I don't have one right here. I could show you. Okay, go to, if you go to offerstowners.com, you can see a template. Go to, I think it's under forms. And go to the land. There's a template letter that you can see a version of what we send out. I actually have on there our company name. It says DeWit.com and it says DeWit Family of Companies. It has my email on there. Actually, it has Jill@DeWit.com because I like to see the offers when they come in and then I forward them to my team. It has our phone number on there, so that's how they're reaching out to me and to us specifically. Great question. And they love it. It's my name. It'll say Jill DeWit with my signature. And people still comment. I looked you up and you're legitimate and that's why I'm calling you. I didn't get anything goofy. I had someone the other day said, I've gotten several of these letters before, and I just like your style, and that's why I'm calling you back. And then when they call, my team is awesome. They answer, and we follow through. And I have another quick little announcement real quick here too. Yay! Which is Gerardo, welcome to Land Academy. I just got a note that Gerardo has joined our community, and we are so happy to have you. And I hope I will see you also on our member call tomorrow. Yay! All right, let's see here. We'll keep going down here. Paula, we were looking for this the other day. I know you can Google it. Thank you. Jack just gave me a hi. He just waved hello to me. Hello, Stephen Jack. Paula Dormal says, okay, which states have laws against mailers being sent to people there? There is a list. It's like a do not call thing. I can't remember how to Google it, but there's a way that you can Google it and find out. There might be things too. I think that so much of when we pull data, we use RealQuest Pro, and we go in there, and I think when you go to download some of the data, I think there's a warning that pops up and says, hey, just FYI, because there are states that we can get access to all of the information that we want, and that's why I can populate it into Neighbor Scoop. Speaking of which, that's where it comes from. This Neighbor Scoop is a direct feed from CoreLogic's separate spatial. It's an amazing company that they have that supplies all this information. But I think there's a warning that'll pop up and say, are you sure you want to download this ownership information? I hope you're not sending letters there, but you can get at it. So very, very good question. Hello, Paul Moto. Paul says, is there a standard process across different states to pull LLC ownership data, or is that in a state-by-state basis? I don't zero them out. So we pull data in RealQuest Pro and DataTree depending on what we're searching for. We use RealQuest Pro primarily for land. The way it's always comes delivered in the same format, super easy to do because we're using multi-county mailers often. I'll do a bunch of them at once, and it's just so robust. DataTree is great for houses. It's a whole different information that we get there. It's separate information. Now, for both of them, there could be a button in there. I don't know, not like there's a button, but I'm pretty sure there's a way that you can go in and you could unselect them for sure if you really want to do that. But you might be able to take them out. But I wouldn't. It's the same thing as back tax property. We have tested it and learned, and gosh, that's why we're still here today. Mail them all. You don't want to single out people, whether an LLC or not, and you don't want to single out people that have back taxes or don't. You will be surprised. It's a situation. That's it. And that was brought up today on this CoreLogic. I don't know if we all saw it today. It was a really wonderful presentation on the housing and CoreLogic's this guy. He was a doctor. He's a pro. He's got a doctorate in data, which is pretty much what my Stephen has a doctorate in data. It's just not letters he can officially type on the end of his name, but that's him too. He's that into it. And he even said so much of what's happening in this housing market is situation driven. What is it? It's somebody lost their job and somebody passed on. There's things like that's what's going on and driving all of this stuff right now. So and sadly it's COVID related, but it's still the same situations. So I don't want you to take those people out of your mailer. All right. Hello, Alex. Jubber, if I say that right. When you mail a previous county, do you use the same leads, or do I repurchase leads again? This is funny because we've talked about this recently too. I don't typically mail the same county twice. I count on them I kind of go in, I grab the low-hanging fruit, basically, the people who want my stuff, the people who don't want to sell me right now, I trust that they're going to put my offer in their folder, and then I move on. And here's what usually happens. say I'm testing an area and I did all the 5 to 20 acres. That was my test. And it was like, wow, this was great. I'm not going to go back and get the 5 to 20 acre property owners again. Now I'm going to do the 20 to 40 acre property owners. Then I'm going to do the 40 to 160 acre property owners. I'm going to do stuff like that. And then I'm going to go, this area was so good. I'm going to try this county, one county over, or this county over here. I'm going to just start branching out. There are 3,144 counties and parishes in this country. I do not need to bombard the same guy. So the only reason I would, I'll be truth time. If I was looking for a personal residence, if it was my personal cabin area, and I was really, that would be like the only reason I'm trying to really buy something around this lake. I might warm up, try to come a little higher because I know where I want to be on this lake. That would be the only reason. But for what we do, so good question. And I do. The data is so cheap the way we have it. I would if it's less than a year old, I wouldn't. But if it's 5-year-old data, I'd pull it. I'd redo it because a lot can happen. Let's see here. Good one. Kevin Perney, I love it. What are your top 3 ways you sell your land? Blast it everywhere on land selling sites like my site, Landpin. And number 2, I might do flat rate MLS. It is easy and cheap. You can get it down to $99. If you use, I love the guy. It's a small company. It's brokerdirectmls.com. I love super nice people. And they'll get it on the MLS like everywhere. And then number 3, social media. So I'm lumping them all together because it's not just one. Because you never know. We've sold property off Instagram. We've sold property off Facebook Marketplace. I might sell it on OfferUp. There's so many. What you need to do is just get it into a system, and that's what we have a spreadsheet that lines up Facebook, and not just Facebook, but different accounts and pages that we have in Facebook. I want to put it in different groups in Facebook. Like I've got a beautiful, maybe it's a great hunting property somewhere. I want to get it in all the hunters, in that radius of that property that might drive there and use it. So, good question. All right. Hi, Chuck. Hello, Chuck Sagliano. Redfin has sale prices in Texas, right? Thank you. It's also, I don't understand the whole non-disclosure because I find sales prices all the time too. So, but yeah, you could click around and you could find stuff there too. Exactly. Good question. All right. Oh, Herbert said, "Thank you, Jill. I'm learning and relearning a ton." Well, good. I'm glad. Fabian Flores says, "Is it possible to get a current deal reviewed before making an offer? My first Craigslist got me a potential seller." I love it. So if you haven't done this, if you go to Land Academy and you download our ebook, as an example, Steven says, just follow me on here, try this test, which is kind of put something in Craigslist, pick an area, doesn't matter, put something in Craigslist and watch the response of people that come through and want to sell some land. And that's what Fabian's got here. So I don't like going at it backwards. I really don't. It's like negotiating. I don't negotiate it. It's like you have a bottom number, that you're willing to, I have a number that I'm willing to buy at. You have a number that you're willing to sell at. If they work out, great. If they don't, I'm moving on. We're not going to here to talk about it. I'm not here to meet in the middle. I'm not here to try to make it work. It's, it's quick because I'm doing a lot of properties. That's the point here. So I would, you know what, Fabian? I would yourself, if you really want to, well, here's what I would do first. I would call the seller back and find out what his bottom number is. Tell him who you are, what's going on. Like, look, I'm interested in your property and I don't want to waste your time. I'm not a retail, I'm not an agent. I'm an investor. I'm going to be them representing, I'm not, going to, whatever you say, basically who you are. I just want to know your time's valuable, my time's valuable. What's the bottom number? And then try to make it work. So that's what I would do with what this is. And you might say, okay, $4,000. Okay, now you go look and see if $4,000 makes sense to you. If it does, great, you buy it. If it doesn't, you just go, well, move on. And now I'm going to send out some mail. It was good practice. Yay. I see welcome to our new members. Thank you, people are ready. This is good. Hey, Rebecca and Ross Seiler. In the winter months we are coming into, should we stay away from mailing to northern states? You know, it's funny. We kind of joke about this sometimes, like, when the weather's not good, it's a good time to buy property because then they're thinking that who's going to want it now, and here comes your offer. So I'm not afraid of it. I pay this much attention to it. It's just kind of in the back of my head, like, oh yeah, probably a good time. Like look at Montana right now. No wonder people are calling. It's snowy. No one wants to buy, kind of thing. And then it's usually like after the fact. And then the summer months, I'm like, oh yeah, all the kids went back to school. Maybe that's why something changed, kind of thing. And then also too, I've learned over the years, you never can tell. We've had properties sell on Christmas Day and Christmas Eve. Okay, good questions though. Hello, Cindy Lee. Cindy says, when you mail your offers to multiple counties, do you zero in on specific zip codes or mail to the entire county? Awesome. It depends on land or houses traditionally, or infill lots. Land, I'm traditionally doing the county and just letting it fall where it may. With houses or infill lots, I'm usually more focused, and that'll be zip code. And then if I'm really working with a buyer, like we've done this in areas of Scottsdale, where we've had flippers, just beating down our door that wanted a certain zip code. And I stayed in there. You could even get into census tracts if you want to get that nutty about it. And that is why my Stephen has a virtual PhD in data. And that's his thing. But excellent question. Ooh. Yes, this is a great question. Okay, Kevin Perney asked, are there zonings you stay away from? Yep, industrial. I don't want anything to do with anything that had or zoned for, compared to have had, something to do with a gas station or something like that on the property, because the future, there are issues with properties like that, and the dirt, and what could have happened with tanks and things like that. I just don't ever want to deal with, so I don't work with them at all. And I'm really I do commercial though. So my two favorites, I'll tell you two on the side note, the zonings I love, all residential / recreational and commercial properties all day long. And I love commercial properties because often those you can get away with more. Like I can put a mobile on those often. Just that zoning often makes a difference in a lot of areas. So awesome. Hello, Paula Dormal. So if you mailed everyone lowball offers in a particular neighborhood and someone sells to you, is it awkward to market the parcel to a neighbor who you also had happened to make a lowball offer to previously? Heck no. Not at all. It's funny. Those are neighbor letters that we send out to people in the area, like, because just because they didn't want to sell, they know what I'm doing. Now they see that I bought something and like, wow, oh wait a minute, we can now buy 20 acres over here too, and now wow, now I can have this much property, and that's all she's asking to buy it. They don't know what I bought that guy's for. They can probably look it up if they want to. I don't care. But no matter what, it's still such a great deal that they love it anyway. So I don't worry about that at all. What's funny too is often in mailers, you'll find people that will call you out of the blue saying, hey, I got your letter. I don't want to sell, but now I know how you roll. How do I get on your buyer's list? Thank you, Paula Pollock, my truth time. That's how we are here. That's us. That's Steven. That's me. That's Land Academy. We're going to tell you the truth. Good, bad, or otherwise. We'll tell you. Williams, we're getting down to the end here. I love it. So, but I'm gonna get to all these questions. These are so good. Thank you. Thank you for staying with me. Also, Williams Wesley asks, do you ever have to show any of your land properties? No. You know what's so funny is I had a guy one time, I thought it was funny. He didn't think it was funny. But there was some property, 3 states over. And the guy was going to go look at it. I made sure he had everything the GPS coordinates and, what's going on out there, everything. And he said, okay, so am I going to meet you out there? And I said, all I could think of was, no, I'm going to leave a key under the mat. I'm like, what the hell? Why would I need to be out there? It's just a piece of property. You can walk it, you can lay on it, you can roll on it, you can do whatever you want. I don't care. Sit on it, have a picnic on it, have fun, go for it. So yeah, it was really fun. I do have some properties though that they're kind of nichey properties that I have, or they're in an area where it's a heavy broker area, and usually they're the higher dollar amounts, and a lot of those, the it's just that kind of a market. And then my broker, I don't want to go do it. My broker will drive people around and maybe even walk the property, point out where the stream is, talk about, hey, we know what's going on over here, you know what you could do over here, that kind of thing. And that's why too, my land brokers earn their money for sure. So I'm yet to have a land broker yet to have a land broker that I didn't feel good writing a check to them. I've had really, really good guys. Um, you're welcome. Thank you, Kevin. So thank you to Jill and the team for taking the time to answer questions and sharing your level one overview. You're welcome. Let's see here. Backpacker says, what do you say to sellers who ask what you plan to do with the land? I'm an investor. I'm going to try to, that's a good question. I haven't had that in a while. Usually they know. Usually they're saying, I know you're going to resell it. And that is the truth. So I never lie. And that's the truth. I'm just going to say, if they ever flat out ask me, I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to make it look great. I'm going to put in my inventory and I'm going to see what happens and just kind of leave it kind of vague. Oh, we covered that one. All right. Thank you, Alex. You're welcome. I said, cool, you guys are awesome. Thank you. Oh, this is good. Oh, this is a great question, Alex. Oh my gosh. Alex is asking, have you ever kept a property for yourself? Okay, this is the funniest thing on the planet. You would think I would be the one that would want to love on them, not sell them. Like, oh my gosh, look at this view. We can't sell it. I want to put a cabin there someday. We can camp on it. What do you want? What? Look at this beautiful property. Is not me. It's so funny. It's Steven. So he's not that way that much, but between the two of us, if any one of us has ever said, hey, maybe we should keep this in our personal inventory, is not me. It's Steven. And there have been some good ones. So there happens, and at the end of the day, we end up selling them all. There's a few that we talked about, and we had some that we sold on terms a while back, where we were doing seller financing, and it was easy to seller finance them because most of the time the sellers don't pay them off, so you get them back anyway. So I had no problem putting it on seller financing. We both did because 90% of the time or 60% of the time, they're not going to pay it off and I'm going to take it back anyway and I'll still have it years from now. So, but it's hard. Well, it's funny. Well, here's one of the things too. To keep yourself from wanting to keep a property because it is so awesome and you bought it so cheaply, don't go see it. That's my thing. When you Google Earth, you can get enough of a view now with, Google Earth and all of our mapping, and you can see what's around there. It's hard because you get these drone shots back. I've got drone shots back and the pictures of the blue sky. You're like, wow, this is gorgeous. So don't go. And that's the feeling you're trying to invoke too when you sell these properties. When you are getting excited about the property, whether it's when you initially see it or you get the photos back, the drone shots, I want you to real quick, that's when you kind of write your description and write your title for the property, because that feeling that you have, wow, how awesome the sunset must be on this property, that's what you're trying to convey in your land posting when you sell it, because that's what your buyer is going to get. Good question. Eric, by the way, thank you, Eric. My name is Eric. Do you do anything to scrub your mailing list for valid addresses before you mail? Yes, we do. Do you avoid excess return mail? Yes, we do. Does office owners handle this? Yes, that's exactly how it goes. Do not worry. Yep, offers to owners handles that automatically. Nobody wants to send out mail, and it all has happened between the process of you getting the data to them, and then offers to owners get it in the mail. I can't remember what how they alert you, but you can talk to support@offerstowners.com or just pick up the phone and call Aaron, and he'll help you. So it's Aaron with an A, and he will help you. But great question. This is a really good question, Chelsea, because this shocked the heck out of me too. What percentage do you pay your land broker? Traditionally between 6 and 10%, and the good ones 10%. So I know it sounds like a lot. I had one recently, bought for like 15, sold for 80. He's getting $8,000. I don't care. I bought it for 15, and he put the work in. So that's what they charge. Cindy Lee, this is like a survey. Cindy's asking, do you ever stake the four corners of any of your vacant land? That's it. That would be getting a survey. There are professionals for that. I do have one property, I'll tell you right now, that I don't know if they're going to stake it. Usually it's just for mapping purposes to make sure the map is spot on. But I do have one property right now where it's costing a lot. You know why? Because it's COVID times. Normally you can get a survey for around $1,000. That's like a nationwide average. This property is 40 acres in an eastern state, and it's costing me between $3,200 and $3,500. I just signed something saying I'll pay. It was kind of silly, like just basically sign the paper before I put my car into the shop that I know how much it could cost. But I just signed the paper. I'm like, yeah, I know, and it's because I can wait. I can wait till December and have a survey done for $1,000, or I can have one done this month for $3,200. I said fine, because there's enough leverage in the transaction that it's going to be okay. Good question though. All right. I want to say again, congratulations to Jeff Amore. We are so happy and to welcome you to the Land Academy community, our winner for today. And I also want to welcome Arturo and Gerardo, who have also joined the Land Academy community. Thank you, everyone. And I really love your feedback. So if you have any more questions, topics you want me to cover next month, anything like that, please send a note to my team at support@landacademy.com. You want, again, access to my presentation. You want the PDF of that. You want to get in a member call, just send them a note. So you are so welcome. Take care.